Our guy Ross Stripling joining us right now from the San Francisco Giants. Chicken Strip, how we doing?
I feel like he's got that same hat, and I
What's
love
the
it.
hat?
I don't know what it is. He just always looks the same to me, and I love every second about it.
What's that hat?
It's just a Travis Matthew hat. Yeah, it's I wake up with bed hair. You guys always have me on nice and early. I'm playing with the kids, and I got to throw on a hat to look nice for you guys.
You missed it last time. He was outside. He gave us a little.
Oh,
nice.
I was there.
You were there for that.
It seems like anytime we interview him, I'm on.
Yeah, like
that's coordinated.
Is that one of the things, Ross? Are you like, hey, is Todd going to be there?
Yeah, that's it. When I signed up to do the shows with you guys, I'm like, I'm only on if Todd's on. That was the deal breaker. So we got a solid thing going. We're making money in this market. Last couple of weeks haven't been great, Todd, but we're overall we're doing good.
I wasn't going to bring it up. I was just going to tell you, come down here. We'll go to Atlantic City. We got a better chance. How you feeling, brother? How's everything going with you, man? How's the family? How's everything?
Everything's great, man. Everything's good. Personally, I came off the IL a little bit for the All-Star break and have been, knock on wood, throwing the ball well. Just went through a tough Rangers offense and was able to keep them at bay until I gave up homers on back-to-back pitches on 2 crappy sliders. That's been the story of my year, man. I just have no room for error, but I'm healthy and throwing the ball well. And historically in my career, if I'm those 2 things, I'm going to have some success. So hopefully we can keep it rolling. And then family's good, man. It's crazy. We got like 3 road trips left, and the season's winding down. So the Giants we're hanging in there. We haven't been playing the best as of late, but really everyone in the wild card race outside the Phillies and the Cubs, I guess, is kind of scuffling coming out of the All-Star break. So we're still right in the mix and doing good.
So you said, when you don't have a large margin for error. I was looking at how your last start went. Like, can you get some run support? Like, I know Max Scherzer's not giving you high fives. He confirmed that when he came on. But
did he?
Like, he did confirm it just last week. But
it was great.
Can you give some high fives to your lineup? Like, are they like, Ross is on the mound? This is our DeGrom. Like, we're not going to give him run support. Like, you've kind of been hurting in that category. You need to buy the guy some dinner or something.
Man, I feel like you're setting me up for disaster with this question. Logan Webb is the guy that can definitely talk to that even more than me. I mean, just look at the game yesterday, man. He was on the verge of a complete game shutout. Gets to 2 outs in the 9th, and we pull him, and the Rangers score on a weird one, and we end up winning in extras. But our offense, man, it's definitely kind of come in waves through the years, and through this season. And right now, I think our guys are scuffling a little bit. I mean, you just kind of look at who, Conforto hasn't played in 2 years. I'm sure he's running on fumes. Wilmer Flores is the hottest guy we have, a guy that probably was going to play more against lefties only. Now he's in there every day. Jock doing damage, but maybe not as much damage as he's used to. So we're just kind of like ebbing and flowing offensively, and right now in a little bit of a lull. But I think we're confident that we'll come out of it. We played the matchup game and, kind of have the lineup against righties and lefties that has had success, and we're going to stick to it. So, but yeah, if I can do anything, I'm going to do it. I don't know what I can do to get them. To get them flying and hitting some homers and stuff when I'm on the mound. But, we kind of operate on separate wavelengths. I'm out there doing my job and they're trying to do theirs and try and get a W at the end of the day.
All right, let's talk about your battery mate, because I love everything that Patrick Bailey does, especially hitting walk-off homers. Like, every time I watch a game, it feels like he does something so cool, and yet it is so unorthodox. Like, the way he throws, he is the best receiving. He's got the best pop times down to second, and it's from a sidearm. It's from like a different kind of receiving stance. Talk about this guy and what he brings to your team.
Well, man, you can maybe even speak to it better than I am, or I can, as far as being a catcher. It is incredibly impressive for a young catcher to come up and to take on the workload that they have to take on. It's similar to like a young NFL quarterback, man. Not only are they expected to know every pitcher on the 40-man, as well as whatever lineup is coming into town, on top of, he's hitting in the 4-hole, hit a walk-off homer for us yesterday. We're expecting offensive output from him. That is a massive workload, man. And the narrative around him before he got here was like, because he's super mellow. He is like one of the most mellow teammates I've ever had, was kind of like, what's the care factor? Does he really, how much does he want it? And that was kind of the narrative. And then he gets here and it's like, man, what a pulse on this guy. Wow, can he slow the game down? It's like kind of crazy how they just flip it like that. but it's incredibly impressive. I think you look at like what an Adley Rushman did last year for the Orioles, as far as how that team just turned it around the second he made his debut. Go look at us, man. We were like, I think, the worst team in baseball in April. We call them up sometime in May, and we've been right in the thick of it. And I think we're the best team in May, and that's a huge testament to him. Yeah, we've had other pieces come up, a hot Casey Schmidt, some other young guys make impacts, but he's been steady in the lineup ever since he got here. And I mean, we had guys like Logan Webb and Alex Cobb who called their own games, veterans, and they let Patrick Bailey, a rookie catcher, call their games now. So that is kind of can show you how much they respect him and what he's done for us so far. I can't really talk about it enough. I'm sure you're as impressed as I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really sweet what he did. That ball got out in a hurry, by the way. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the schedule here, and you got some dogs coming up here, dude. Next 22 games, you're facing some teams that are all trying to get where you're trying to be. 22 games, these next 22. You think this is make or break after these 22, or no? You think it'll be all right?
It's 100% make or break, right? I mean, I think you got to say that it is. It's all teams that are basically in the playoffs now are fighting for the same position we are, like you said. So it's cool in a way to say that we own our own destiny in our hands, right? Like we still play the Reds, we still play the Cubs, we still play the Padres, we still play the Phillies, so those are all teams in the wild card hunt with us. Yeah, we also have 6 in there against the Braves who are just hitting homers left and right and killing everyone they come into contact with. But it's nice to say if we go and win those games, we're setting ourselves up. So I think we got to have that mentality. But yeah, we're even saying that in the locker room coming out of the month of August, basically a month we've had circled since the start of the season as knowing the gauntlet that it is. We'll have a really good idea of where we're at. So, stay tuned. Next time I come on here, we'll probably have a better idea what the Giants are doing moving into September.
The only thing I will say is, because we covered this at the top, the Padres have been weird this year, right? They can't really put it together, and it's working out well for your squad, obviously, that they've had their ups and downs. So yesterday they fall 5-4 to Arizona, and Machado, who you played with, and we've talked about, dude's, I think, sometimes misunderstood, right? But he did say before the game, it's do or die. And our guys are just like, pump the brakes. Like, we don't want to say that on August, at the time, 13th. And yes, it's a team that's got to start stringing wins together. My question to you is just, have you ever heard a teammate say something where you're like, dude, no, don't say that yet. It's a little too soon. We don't need you to say that we have to win a game in August for our season to continue.
Yeah, I think so. I think everyone has different times that they start scoreboard watching. I would say we're definitely in the thick of it now, but sometimes in like late June going into July, you're already scoreboard watching. You think like a series against, I don't know, let's say the Dodgers for us, and you're like, man, this is a do or die series. You're like, not necessarily. We still got 70 games ahead of us. So I've heard stuff like that in the locker room, and sometimes it gets said to the media as Manny's trying to be a leader for his squad there. I think we talked about this last time I was on too. So he's doing what he can to keep his guys motivated and keep that team feeling like they're in the hunt, and they need to stay hungry to win every game they can. But that's all stuff that we know and we're aware of, and so yeah, I think it's a little early to say it's do or die, but at the end of the day, that's kind of probably the mentality they have to have from here to the rest of the season to get into the hunt.
After the whole Tim Anderson, Jose Ramirez bout that happened last week,
Yeah.
You ever have, I've been asking tons of pitchers, you ever have somebody charge the mound against you?
Are you setting me up? Is this, do you know the answer, or are you asking?
I don't know the answer, but I want to know, because I want to know what's your go-to play? Like, what's your play if it's happened, or what's it going to be when it happens?
So this is I'd arguably the scariest man in the world charged me on the mound by the name of Giancarlo Stanton. This is 2017. We are the Dodgers playing the Marlins, and the close we're just killing the Marlins in a 4-game set. We just smoked them. This is the last game of a 4-game set, and we're killing them again. And they have to bring in their closer to get some work in a blowout game. And he gives up a grand slam. And the next hitter, he hits Brett Eibner, if you guys remember Brett Eibner. Yeah. And then he punches me out, and the inning's over. And I'm walking back to the dugout and basically get word that we need to respond. And I'm like, okay, well, who's up first? And they're like, well, Giancarlo Stanton is up first. I'm like, okay, here we go. And, so the whole dugout's on red alert and knowing what's coming. So I throw at Giancarlo Stanton. I don't even know if I'm allowed to admit that, but here I am saying it. And before the pitch even reaches home plate, Chase Utley and Clayton Kershaw are sprinting out the mound. Giancarlo's on the way to me, kind of walking. He's not like sprinting at me or anything, but he's walking on his way to me. Austin Barnes is like holding him back by his cup. He's half the size of Giancarlo Stanton. He's not doing much for me there. And he's saying, you don't want to mess with me or something like this. And I'm like, I kind of agree. I'm like waiting for I'm waiting for Utley and Kershaw to get out there. And honestly, I think both sides knew it was coming. And you can go, it's on YouTube. Obviously you can watch it. It's no punches are thrown, but it's a pretty good, Don Mattingly gets into it with someone pretty good. So it's worth watching, but yeah, that's me on the mound and my reactions. I'm not super proud of it. I could have looked a little tougher, but, yeah, that's how I chose to do it. It's worth watching if you got the time.
We've got the time.
We weren't even listening to what you were saying. We were watching it.
Yeah,
Incredible.
Listen, Mattingly was chirping one of your coaches there. Who was that? The bench coach?
Is it Bob Guerin? I think it's Bob Guerin.
Yeah, that was like
Garen's
the big,
tough.
That was the big old scuffle we're watching on here. He didn't charge you, but he
Yeah.
kind of gave that slow Spartan walk like this.
Yeah.
Is Stanton.
Yeah.
Hey, you put your head down to it first. You're like, shit, here we go.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I didn't go
that's-
backwards, but I certainly wasn't in a rush forwards either.
No.
Yeah.
You're waiting. You're like, well, am I going to throw my glove first? I mean, something. But yeah, it looked like Mattingly was the culprit there.
I mean, there's some people in this fight. I mean, not a fight, just a talking match. Dustin McGowan, I just saw. Dean Trainer was
Dean is nuts.
Dean Trainer. Mean Dean was in there. He was probably like, yeah, Strip, I love that. Yeah, throw it up and in. But I have to admit, you didn't back down. Like you weren't like
He didn't hit him though either.
Because I would say, Ross, you're a smart guy. You're a smart guy. You live to throw another pitch, and like even Dave Roberts, like he comes out of the dugout like I see G's like coming out here, but I don't know that we want like I don't want Ross to get hurt, but I don't want to get hurt. Like there is smart there.
Mattingly's looking for him. Oh, he pushed him. Yeah. Who was that? Number 8. Yeah, Guerin.
He managed the Dodgers.
Guerin, yeah.
And Russ, Doc looks like he's coming out of the dugout like he's trying to steal second base in the 0-4 ALCS, you know?
That's what I'm saying. The second I let go of that pitch, everyone's flying out of that dugout. I think everyone knew it was coming. And it's funny. I think of another video where Arenado just starts charging at it might have been Perdomo, and Perdomo just starts running around the infield while Arenado's chasing him. I think it would have been like that. If Giancarlo would have come at me like that, I think I'm sprinting around just avoiding him until someone takes him by his legs.
That was great. I love when coaches get nasty with other coaches. I think you see that happen more than none. You see the old school coaches like Mark McGuire. Who was he like hip tossing?
We just had it. The episode just came out last week with Mark McGuire, who does not speak much, and it was probably the most epic coaches brawl in the modern era or something like that.
Yeah,
stop that guy.
Big Mac.
Yeah,
Matt Williams. There was like 2 or 3 other big coaches.
It was him and Matt Williams. That's who it was.
Kirk Gibson was in that fight.
Maybe.
It was just a bunch of dudes going at it. Like there were the players at first, and then all the coaches start coming out, and it's just like, all right, forget that. Anyway.
Yeah. There's some old beef need to be settled there.
Yeah. Ross, when that happens, though, obviously you're put in a situation where it's like this is how it is, and this is what needs to happen. Do you get respect, and what's the conversation like after the game from your teammates?
I think it depends on the situation. Oh, the video's popping up now. That's funny. You know what? I think it depends on the situation. If it was kind of justified, I don't think you'd ever hear a teammate complain about it. Yeah, somehow missed I think it grazed him, but I somehow missed the most giant dude in baseball there. So, it depends. But for the most part, you're always going to have your teammates' backs and support whatever madness might have just happened. If it's a coach, I don't even know what that conversation is like. Like, damn, Mac, like what got into you there? But I think for the most part, you're always going to be like good job, guys. Like, we had each other's backs, and if it happens again, we'll do it again if we have to. So I don't know. I've only been a part of a few of them. Normally, they're pretty cheesy. A couple guys talk, Puig and Bumgarner talking smack, just to talk smack. Two alphas out there, just not having it with each other. But for the most part, I haven't been a part of anything crazy besides the one I started myself there.
That is crazy. But next time, throw it G, like something larger on G. You threw it his waist. His waist is like this big. Like, you have his huge shoulders. You have his ginormous legs. Like, throw it something a little bit bigger. So that's why you missed him.
Yeah, part of my process there, if I hit him in the butt, I'm thinking, maybe he doesn't feel it, doesn't care as much. If I go up by the neck, which I would never do, but if I did, I think he's coming at me hard. So that was part of the thought process there.
For sure. Now let's shift over to the Blue Jays. Old teammate, they sent Manoa down back down to the minor leagues. How do you as a veteran leader on a staff get to a guy that says, because we kind of talked about before when he was sent down, how do you talk to a guy for his second time he's sent down? Or do you just let him go?
No, I think you got to say something, right? And you got to just acknowledge that, man, it sucks. And your future as a Blue Jay is still as bright as ever. And even this season, we're an injury away from you still being a pillar of our rotation. And we know it's in there. We've seen it for 2 years. You've been as dominant as anyone in the American League. And he still has the mentalities of being one of the biggest competitors I've ever been around on the mound. It's like him and Walker Buehler, as far as like when the lights are on, how they're able to kind of turn it on as young guys and just know that they belong at the big league level. But I hope those guys are definitely, reaching out to him and telling him, it sucks, man. A roster squeeze like that. We got 5 guys that are healthy and they're veterans, and you still have some stuff to go down and work on, get your command right, and come back, and we're going to rely on you to pitch some big innings for us down the stretch. And if not as much this year, you're still a dude moving forward for us. And try and say it that way. It'll probably go in one ear and out the other, as it does for those guys, because they'll be, kind of distraught over the move and feeling like the team's leaving them behind. But, probably almost all of us in this room have been optioned down at some point, and it sucks. But it can also, you can choose to use it as a motivator, which I think Alek Manoa will do. And my guess is we'll see him back up there soon.
All right, so I'm going to connect you to some other former teammates right now, Ross. So you said, there's going to be some scoreboard watching at this point in the season. How about schedule watching? Do you know the last 3 games of the season for San Francisco?
Well, I know they're the Dodgers, but I don't remember if they're in LA or in San Francisco.
In San Francisco, the Dodgers. So not only your former team, but now you've got multiple former teammates, right, that have moved back to your former team. So is that one that already has trash talk involved via text? Like, obviously you're tight with Kike. Is it, hey, we're hanging around, we're not necessarily coming to get you? Obviously they're crushing it in the division, but that could be very meaningful baseball for your squad against your friends.
Yeah, I would say it's probably a little early for that. That's still 6 weeks down the road. If we were to already be talking, let's say maybe we're just exchanging pictures of our kids or catching up about live or whatever, and then you might finish the text thread with something like that. But we already talked about the gauntlet we have ahead of us with these 22 games and the rest of August through the start of September. So we'll get through that first, and then we'll probably start circling those series, because we go Dodgers, Padres, Dodgers to finish the season. So we'll certainly start reaching out and acknowledging those 6 out of 9 games that are going to be huge for us. And the Dodgers in a world probably have the division locked up there, but it's still a rivalry, and we'll obviously as Giants be playing for our future of the season as well. So you'll start mixing in some trash talk, especially since there's 6 Dodgers on the former Dodgers on the Giants right now, and we're all still close with each other. So you'll get it going.
I missed that too, Kratzy. There's a 4-gamer and then the 3-gamer
Is there?
at the end. So right. So there's 7. You got it. He's on it more than me. What do you got? You got a big finisher?
Yeah. We got one last question for you. You believe in aliens?
Man, that is a big finisher.
You
know what?
Or do you believe aliens have stock markets where they're from?
What? Oh, 100%.
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
You say what?
You're saying aliens have a stock market?
Yeah,
we're not the only one.
They have their version of Atlantic City and Vegas, and You know what, man? I don't know. I don't know. It's like the one guy coming out talking about aliens, got everyone stirred up. If more than one guy comes up and says it, maybe I'll buy into it. But for now, I'm gonna choose to ignore it and live in my bliss of having no idea of what's going on out there.
Live in the present, live in the season. Okay, he'll save that stuff for you. Good call. Good call. We don't want to piss them off, especially if they're there. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, no.
Ross, great catching
Did
up
y'all
with you, dude. As always. What's up?
I was gonna see. Did y'all see that outrageous Barstool that was like, if there are aliens, are we gonna eat them? I thought that was like the funniest thing in the world because it's like there's nothing out there that we haven't like tried to eat. And they're like, I mean, we probably tried porcupine and realized you don't want to eat it, but like if there's really aliens, are we gonna try to eat them? And I was like, this is the most outrageous 5 minutes.
While we're on some weird questions, let me ask you this weird question: do you put your milk in first in your bowl, or you put your cereal in first?
You put the cereal in first. I just don't. I've never seen anyone do it the other way. I've been asked that a couple times now. I think that's an outrageous question.
Is that a thing right now?
I guess it is.
Is that a question? I don't get
know.
that.
Like, have you ever met?
It's like the
I've
hot
never
dog
met
sandwich thing.
It's the what sandwich thing?
No, it's not.
It's a hot dog sandwich. It's it's kind of it's one of our video board things. Like the Giants in spring training asked us. It's like one of the, and I think 10 out of 10 said cereal first. So I don't even know why they play it. I mean, it's not.
I want to meet somebody that does it the other way if it's an actual question.
Yeah, exactly. Could we bring them on even if they're not a baseball person? I don't get that. I get what you're saying, Ross, where you bring up something, it's like a little controversial, but it's all fun, and you pick an answer. I genuinely just don't understand that one.
Maybe they don't want it to get too soft too quick. They like the crunch of the cereal.
Right. So you put the milk in, you dump the cereal real quick.
So you got more,
and then you just start
destroy.
If they like the crunch, why don't you just skip the damn milk? I mean,
yeah.
What are we doing?
What is your go-to cereal though?
Oh gosh, good question. I still eat the super sugary stuff like Trix and Captain Crunch and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Yeah, I don't eat cereal a ton, but if I do, it's a treat. So I'm going all in. I'm not eating like Raisin Bran. I'm
going
the
all-American dude. I love it.
Hell yeah, baby.
Love it.
Ross, great to have you, dude. You're off the hot seat.
yeah. All right. Appreciate it, guys. Y'all keep up the good work. See you next time.
Yeah, see you next time, dude.